What are you training for right now? Is there any goals on the horizon?
Yes. So right now, probably a week or 2 ago, I just started working with a bodybuilding coach to really lock in and try to compete in a bodybuilding show next year.
Is this going to be your first time going into the bodybuilding?
It will, yeah.
Okay, but I see you have been doing, or maybe still are doing a lot of running, or is what's going on there?
So I was doing a lot of running because, like, with the military background, I
Hmm.
hadn't thought about the fact that I had been doing hybrid for like the last 5 years, and just like it was just being forced upon me. So then I got out and I was like, "Oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. Like, I should keep doing it and try to get good at it." And then I just had an epiphany moment probably like a month or 2 ago where it was like, "No, dude, you just gotta bodybuild." Like, that is where it's like, I'm totally in my element.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I hate running too, man, but I do it. I I literally signed up. I have an ultra marathon, a last man standing race in 30 days, and I haven't ran in
Oh,
like 3 months. So I'm just like, all right, you just got
really?
to do hard stuff sometimes.
That no, that's absolutely true. Like, I don't know if you saw, I did Running Man last year, the 50K, with,
Hmm.
like, no training.
Yeah,
It
dude.
was just like, go out and see if I can do hard stuff.
All right, let's talk about that then. How did that go? Like, what was the mindset? What was the vibes going into that?
Dude, that sucked. So, like, have you heard of Running Man?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so I was at Running Man.
Jesse Itzler's thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Devin Levesque, I think, kinda co-own it. But, I I was under the impression that the premise of the thing was you'd sign up for a race, and you had over the course of the 3 days to run it.
No.
No. So I was like, "Oh, I'll do a 50K." I was like, 10 miles a day, that's a good challenge. No, brother. It was just like day 1 was just festivities, day 2 was the race, and I signed up for a 50K. So we had like very luckily, I was there with First Form, and we had like some ultra guys who were at like real ultra guys there. And they kinda paced me through, we set up like the little checkpoints or the little, just like stops, and they
Hmm.
helped like massage out the legs, give me all the snacks I needed, but no matter if you're doing it right or wrong, it gets tough, man.
Yeah.
0 training. Yeah.
Dude, you're speaking to the choir. I did in October, I did a 50-mile ultra, and the longest I'd ran prior to that was 13 miles. So,
That's awesome.
what point did it start to get tough for you in the 50K?
I think it started to get tough for me around like mile like 5 or 10.
Dude.
Yeah, dude, like, straight up, I was not really a runner before that at all. I was just, like, physically fit, I knew I could do hard stuff, so it was like, I my legs aren't gonna fall off,
Hmm.
but, like, it certainly got to the point where I was like, "My legs might fall off."
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
On that 50 miler, I was feeling great. And then the outside of my left knee at like mile 18 just like completely went. I was like, dude, I can't run.
18?
Yeah, I was like, I need to
That's
walk.
tough.
But luckily, I made it to like base camp, and my mother-in-law, she had like this Tylenol topical cream. And I was like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna slather that on there. And luckily, that kicked in, and I was able to run. But I was probably putting on. I don't know if there's like how much of that stuff you're using, but I
Is
was
it
putting
too
that stuff
much?
on like every 3 miles. I was just loading up and then just eating some ibuprofen. But you got to do what you got to do if you plan on finishing it. What what was the mindset shift when you were doing like this 50K? Was there anything in there that you got value out of that you realized, hey, I
Oh,
can do this hard?
100%. I feel like that's the reason I do most of this stuff. Like, I also ran, 2 marathons, one a little bit more untrained than the other, and it's like, you just do it to see at what point is, like, your breaking point, and then what do you do there? Like, that is really why I'm interested in running. Like, I don't like running, I don't care to run. I like to be good at running, and I like to learn what I can learn from it, and for the 50K, it was just really like, I reached this crazy point of, like, apathy. Where it was like I was hurting, and my brain was trying to, like, find a way to make it stop, and then eventually I just realized, like, every part of me realized, like, "Alright, well, he's not gonna stop." And then my brain was like, "I don't care, man." And I was like, my knees can explode, man, I don't care." And it was just, like, such a cool point of, like, when when my brain got too overwhelmed by, like, all the discomfort or the pain, instead of trying to find ways to stop my body, it just found ways to stop my mind. So I thought that was, like, super cool, and to be able to, like, test those limits and find out what you do there is absolutely what I do all of it for.
Yeah, I think people who don't exercise or don't do the hard things on the regular are really missing out on the value that you get just from the mental aspect.
Dude. Yeah. Just like the composure, the I thought I was gonna come up with another word, but composure was a better word than I thought it was gonna be for it. But, like, just learning what you do, like, whenever you're stressed out, or I mentioned it in one of my YouTube videos, like, I was recording when somebody hit my car,
Mm.
and so, like, we turned it into kinda like a learning moment like that as well for the camera, like, there are moments in life where the stress level is gonna rise and fall, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, use the moments where you can adjust the stress levels of your life to learn how to handle yourself in stressful situations. Because like, 6 months ago, straight out the Marine Corps, I would've handled that way different. But I was calm, cool, and collected this time, so I was proud of myself for that.
Yeah. What have you been learning, or what has prompted that switch in that 6 months? Because like that's a pretty significant. It's hard to make mental changes and personality changes like
Yeah.
relatively quickly because there's so little friction. Like if you want to change like a physical habit like going to the gym, there are things that you can do to make it easier. You can lay out your clothes,
Right.
you can have a buddy come, but like mental habits are hard to change because so little friction there. It's like things happen
Mhm.
instantly. So what were you doing to kind of improve your ability to remain calm?
Yeah. But I mean, like, also the how you bring up there's so little friction, that's I feel like that's a very self-limiting belief, and, like and not one that I blame anybody for having, like, my time at the Marine Corps, I wouldn't recommend it to literally anyone, but, like, before I left the Marine Corps, I was in an amazing long-time relationship, I had all my friends living with me, I had a purpose, all this, no mental friction, and then I got out and removed all of it from my life. Like, whether, I would do it again or not is up for debate, but, like, you can cause mental friction. You can, like, move to a new town where you know nobody all by yourself and force yourself to figure it out. So it's like it is kinda it's the same thing of, like, us talking about how you can learn so much about yourself through something like an ultra marathon. Well, it's, a lot of people are never gonna do an ultra marathon, so they think they can't learn about themselves in that way. Well, a lot of people would never drop everything and move to a town where they know no one, and then just force themselves to figure it out. But you can figure it out if you do it.
Yeah.
So,
Y-
no, lots of mental friction is how I figured it out.
Is that so? That's what you did. Came out of the army, came out of the Marine Corps, moved to Austin, right? No,
Yeah.
didn't know anybody. What was the
Mm-mm.
thought process there? What was the goal?
I mean, my time in the Marine Corps, I just knew that I was gonna move, I think, to Texas or Austin because my best friend was from here. I knew Austin seemed like a cool spot. I'd been doing social media since before the Marine Corps, so it was like I knew Gymshark was out here kinda doing their thing a lot, so I wanted to come out here and it was so weird, like, I'd never thought of that as like, "Oh, that's certainly what I'm gonna go do." It just always seemed like a fun daydream because in the Marine Corps, everything's a daydream. It's like, you don't get any say in anything. And then when I got out, it was just like this unstoppable plan that had been set in motion that was like I was like, "What's happening right now?" And it was just like everything I said I was gonna do, I was just like doing it without even thinking or like seeming like it was my choice. It was so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I you spend that much time in a such a rigid structure that's you don't have
Yeah.
control over that like you
Yeah.
were saying everything's a daydream and when you get that freedom you're just like I got to go and you have that kind of perspective that people who always have that freedom don't have. They realize
Mhm.
they're like they just get that apathy, as you said, to use the word before,
Yeah.
is they just go through life each day after day, just doing. They think that the next day or in a year or in a couple months they'll start to work towards their goals or their dreams or whatever. But
Yeah.
you in this situation where you can't, where you don't have the freedom, as soon as it comes, you realize like, okay, I need to act like my time's limited. Do you think that's a
Yeah.
valuable lesson?
I think 100%, but I just don't think that that's personally how I viewed it at the time. I think much more of what happened was, like, through all of this, just what I thought was just pointless daydreaming. Because in your head then, it's like, "It's never gonna happen, who cares?" I think it was, like, subconsciously setting the plan in motion years ago before I even, like, possibly could have thought it to be a real thing. Because by the time it happened, like, it didn't even feel like it was me making the choices to go do the thing. It was just like that's what's happening. Like, that's the future. Like, that's what's gonna go down. And it was cool.
What made you what What was the impetus to get into the military in the first place?
So my grandpa, great grandpa, and uncle were all Marines, World War II, Vietnam, and then like the Desert Storm era. So I grew up kind of idolizing the idea of like Marines and service members. I always thought it was very cool. My dad's dad also was in the Air Force in Korea. Uncle was in the Army in like the early GWAT days, or cousin was in the early GWAT days. So there's just a lot of military in my family. And then I noticed growing up that I was a lot better physically than mentally. So I was like, I don't know if college is the place for me. And then as I like looked into it more and just kind of got more testosterone filled through puberty and everything, it was like, I need to go kill bad guys. That sounds like the best. And then I enlisted.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
so you said you were there for 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And with the moving to the Austin, what's the goal out here? Like, what are you trying to build and accomplish coming out to Austin?
Um, so I don't know that, and this is something I've struggled with a lot because in the Marine Corps, all your goals like that are so specific.
Mhm.
It's like the next rank, the next job, the next like promotion, whatever. To whereas just with this, there's like no tangible like promotion. So I guess right now, like I'm trying to just let the success or like money or like things like that that people view as success just kind of come as an outcome should I earn them through whatever I'm doing. But really I'm just trying to find like peace and like just a general state of like happiness instead of momentary.
That's a big goal. That's a big goal.
Yeah, it
That
is. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
what are some things that you're doing to do that? Because I mean, that's one of my goals as well, and I know it's
Yeah.
like it's hard. It's not easy
Yeah.
to achieve,
Yeah,
and it's
dude, it's tough. One thing I noticed I was doing was as soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, I tried to stay on like that grind of like stay at 100% at all times. And I just realized like one, that's going to cause burnout. But two, I'm in this whole new world. Like I don't even know what giving 100% looks like. So then my goal was like obviously not give 0%, but find out where my floor is and where can I exist doing the least and still growing my physique, maintaining personal relationships, growing my business, whatever. And then from there, I can learn to like grow because so much of life we try to figure out like, I gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. And it just gets so stressful. So, like, how best can you go through the world doing the least and then grow from there? Obviously, don't stay there,
yeah.
but yeah,
I
use that as
was
like the growing point.
I was speaking to somebody, Josh Terry, on the podcast, and he mentioned something. He's like high achievers or people who like excel in certain areas. They have a predator mentality versus most other people have a
Hmm.
prey mentality. And what he means by that is like
Yeah.
predators, they go through like sprints and then they rest and relax for a while. And so
Hmm.
like they sprint really hard to get their food and then they eat and then they just lounge and relax for a little bit. And then they sprint
Yeah.
again versus prey, they tend to just be plodding along, grazing, doing what they're doing the whole time. And so
Yeah.
if you are trying to achieve these big things, but you don't recognize that you have like the predator mentality. So you'll go through these sprints and then you'll get like this burnout where you feel anxious and you're like, I really
Yeah.
need to do this. I really need to do this. And then you start to beat
Yeah.
yourself up because you're not doing it. It,
Yeah. Totally, dude.
yeah. Once he said that to me, I was like, dude, I do that. Like I'll go 2 months really hard. And then that third month, I'll be like beating myself up because I don't have any energy instead of just kind of like
And you just feel
laying down
so
a little bit.
lazy and yes,
Percent, dude.
dude. Yeah. And I think a big thing is just realizing like your ceiling for potential is not the baseline. Like that's at least how I feel like a lot of the high achievers I've met, and certainly that's what you're taught in the Marine Corps is like if yeah, giving it your all is the baseline, and it's like realizing that that's not necessarily true all the time is I think that's a good way to like kind of de-stress and realize like oh maybe I can relax and
Yeah.
enjoy yeah just things.
So is that, I mean, as we both say, it's like easy to say, not as easy to put into
Yeah,
practice. What are some ways
yeah.
you're putting that into practice?
Like really just intentionally trying to take time to like have fun or just do something I want to do. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to Austin or know the area very well. Barton Springs is like a natural spring out here that everybody kind of goes to hang out and there's a diving board. I used to be a diver in high school, so I'll go do flips and stuff and just taking time to like go there and be there, and, like, just at a spot to have fun. Like, there's no ROI to going to Barton Springs and, like, just hanging out. But, like, just in realizing, like, it's not a bad thing. Like, you can turn off sometimes. That's cool. So, like, not only just allowing myself to do it, but, like, intentionally doing it. Like, as if it is, like, a business thing or something like that.
Wife and I have we implemented a hard cutoffs at 7 o'clock, which is not always
Yeah.
easy. And so like yesterday, I was in the office in here working on some stuff, and my wife comes in. She's like, "Are we doing a hard cutoff at 7?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure." Thinking it was like 5 o'clock, and then I like look at my watch and it's like 7:07. I'm like, "Oh, dude." So just being able to like stop and put your mind off of work and realize like, hey, some other things are more important, like fun, like family, like
Yeah.
actually experiencing life is, like we were saying, easier to say than to do for some people, but doing
Yeah.
it is so important.
Yeah. And it's just like the mental framing, which is something I feel like I've been really big on since just trying to grow as a person by myself for the first time. Is like I don't think anybody would disagree that in a situation like that, like if you had to pick like, oh, the money I'll make working past from 7 to 8 or spending time with my loved ones, like reframing then what's valuable and then being like, oh, okay, it's not hard. Like it's
Mm.
it's changing because like I said earlier, there's no ROI on going out to Barton Springs or whatever, just hanging out. But, like, there is. There's an emotional return on that investment, like, not all value is monetary or business related or grows your physique or whatever. Like, if you do something that just makes you happier, that's a good ROI.
It's so funny how little people how little people put value on the emotional and the spiritual like
Yeah,
ROI versus the physical and the monetary ROI.
yeah. I mean, we're just not, like, trained to do that in our society, I feel like.
Oh,
Like, it's
100%.
very frowned upon, especially with, like, the grind set, Sigma grind set, you gotta, like, always working.
Oh, the hustle culture mentality. There's a
Hustle
interesting
culture, yeah.
shift. Like Hormozy. Did you listen or watch that Hormozy podcast with Tony Robbins recently?
Not all of it, but I've seen some of it, yeah.
Yeah, same. I didn't
Great
get through the whole
podcast.
thing. Yeah, 100%. But he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not happy. Like, this
Mhm.
hustle culture is just like how I express it, but like, it's not fulfilling. It's not happy. And so it's really interesting to have people who are at like the pinnacle of that hustle culture and that like
Yeah.
Hormozy's like awesome and he provides a ton of value.
Yeah.
But even he's like, hey, like, this isn't filling my cup anymore. Like, I need to find
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, and it's like, I love the hustle culture, like, obviously, if you watch my stuff, you're like, "This guy loves the hustle culture," but there's gotta be a time and a place for it. Like, I don't know if you know who DJ Shipley is. He was, like, one of the youngest Navy SEALs, he was 17 years old. Like, his dad was a SEAL as well, like, very just legendary story, and he talks about dials versus switches, and how, like, as a SEAL, he was running basically just on switches. It was like SEAL on. Husband off, father off. And it was like, you need to be able to have the dials to be like, all right, I'll crank it up this much now, instead of just like, you can only turn it on and off. And I think it's got to be the same with the hustle culture. Like, you can't just turn on hustle, turn off hustle. Like, you got to be able to master the art of like turning it up and turning it down, not just off and on.
That's a really interesting point, and it's so true. I realize I guess something I've talked to people about before is like I'm an all or nothing mentality. It's like either win or
Yeah.
lose, all or nothing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm
Yeah.
training for an Ironman, it's like I got to get the bike. I have to have the indoor trainer. I need to have the programming. I need to set aside 20 hours, whatever it is. It's like, you can't just be like, hey, let me do this for fun or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
been
not
my
doing this to
past.
lose it.
Exactly. That's been like the past mentality. But having the ability to, instead of having switches and having dials, I think allows for longevity in the things that you
Yeah.
want to do.
100%. And not even just longevity, but like, it stops the diminishing of the other aspects of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, especially right now, just for me, like, bodybuilding is my goal. Bodybuilding can so easily crush all the other aspects of your life. Like, I've lived around bodybuilders, I've seen it, I've, like and I think everybody I've interacted with has handled it pretty well. So, like, I've had pretty good role models kinda in the sport, but, like, you can see some people, it's just like, "No, I'm not gonna go out, I have to eat my meal at this time, specifically this thing." Like, I've heard of people, like, living in their cars so they could afford, like, the gear protocol and the coaching and,
I've seen that too.
like yeah, dude. So
How
learning how to those
yeah.
dials.
Do you think you're gonna get sucked into that, or you think you're gonna be able to manage it a little bit better?
I definitely think I'll be able to manage it a little bit better than I'd want to. I feel
Yeah.
like because it is like the possibility for how sucked in you can get is like I'll admit I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like I'll admit it. I'm not that guy. Like to be as locked in as possible for bodybuilding for a year is like a super slept on commendable thing. Like it's
100%.
every single day, every single meal, getting your steps every single day, which I'm finding out takes hours now. Like now that I'm trying to hit my steps and like, oh dude. One of the worst things is like as a as a Marine, you get taught it's like, all right, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. If you're not doing something productive, shit bag. Now being an influencer, bro, there's not this much stuff to do. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, oh, my steak's too buttery, my lobster's too juicy, whatever. But it's like, it feels so weird just sitting in the house being like, all right, I did all my work today. It's noon.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to my wife about this. I'm that same way. It's like I have to fill my day with something productive, and if I don't have anything to do, I will fill it with things that I call productive, even if they're not. So, for example, like
Yep.
cleaning the house is obviously a valuable thing. But I don't need
Dude.
to deep clean my house, and it's not moving me towards my goals in any capacity. It's like,
Yeah.
and so here I
That's
am.
so funny you say that specifically. Just
It's
the
my
other day,
go-to.
I was like, had the same thing.
It's my go-to, dude. Well, I was watching your YouTube, looking at the weight training style. You max out every day. How's that?
Pretty
How'd you get
much.
into training? How's that your training style? Real quick, before we get too deep into this conversation, I wanted to give you guys a peek under the hood when it comes to the data. So the data on this app shows me that less than 21% of my average monthly listeners are actually subscribed to the show. Now, subscribing to the show helps way more than you'd think. It helps the show get pushed out to more people. It helps the show grow. It helps me get more guests. It helps improve the quality. So if you guys like listening to me, and more importantly, like listening to the guests that I'm bringing on, do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button right here on this app, and we will continue to grow the show bigger and better with each and every episode. Thank you so much.
I just got into that by being dumb pretty much. And I was just like wanted to lift heavy every single day. And that's just what I did. That's just what I did. And then when I was on base, dude, this will be like the what I refer to as like the golden days for the rest of my life, I swear. There was a group of probably like 5 to 10 of us that all deadlifted over 600 pounds. And we'd all
Beefy
get off
number.
work at around the same time every day because we all had the same job. So we'd all get to the gym around the same time. And then it would just turn into like, oh no, I'm just gonna lift light today. Oh, there's 6 of your buddies deadlifting 600 pounds. Oh, I guess. Oh, I
Yeah.
guess. Or then it'd be the same thing with like bench or squat. And it would just be like the most ridiculous environment, like vibe. Just have all your boys just be gorillas. Like going around, everybody would be watching. Like when one of
Mm-hmm.
us would go for a PR or max. So I just kind of kept that with me. Like it's so much fun. Like there's so much. It can change my whole week if I hit like a lift I didn't think I was gonna hit.
Yeah. The
But
gym is like
vice versa,
peak,
not hitting a lift I thought I was gonna hit,
dude.
that used to
Devastating.
fuck me up for days.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the like protein and supplement brand like Muscle Farm? It was like Corey something was the owner at the time. He
I don't think so.
It was like the white tub with like the green labels.
Oh, I
It's
think
like
so.
it's like back in my mind. But he had a thing where he would do 400-meter lunges like every single day. Do you remember that was a thing? Anyway,
I
so
guess.
between my junior year of high school and my senior year of high school, for like 6 months, so all the summer and then into it, his thing was he would max out his back squat every single day, or excuse me, he'd max out a form of squat every single day, and
Okay.
then he would do 400-meter lunges for time. So that's what I got into. So like my junior year
Oh
of,
my
of high
gosh, that's
school,
crazy.
I was maxing out either my back squat or my front squat or my like 3 rep or like a wide stance, and then I was just doing 400-meter lunges for time. And so like I get what you're saying, not the smartest way to train,
That is crazy.
but my legs got
It's
big.
funny. Oh, I bet. Thinking about it now, I think the reason, like, if I had to pinpoint when it changed into, like, lifting like a maniac versus lifting like a high schooler who just likes to lift heavy was when I was in the schoolhouse for, like, my job in the Marine Corps. It's funny, I've talked to my buddy about it because somehow, luckily, we ended up getting put together, like, every step of the way throughout our careers, which is, like, crazy odds. But I've talked to him before, I was like, if I was, like, an evil psychologist and I was tasked with making 2 human beings as angry as possible over an extended period of time, our, like, just the holding platoons we were going and then, like, all the people we were with, it was like, that's what I would do to make and we were both going through, like, girl problems at the time, and I can see it, I asked him to get a video of me squatting 405 for a set of 5, and then I got done with the set of 5, and I was just, like, pissed. Like, I just remember thinking, like, "Man, I'm just gonna squat it till I die." Like, just something dumb, bro,
Yeah.
and I did, like, a set of 12, and then from there, the mindset was like, "Oh, if I did it once, I can do it again." So then every day after that was like what used to be a set of 5 for, like, 1 or 2 sets turned into 4 sets of 12
Jeez.
every day, and then I just realized, like, "Oh, you can do way more than you think you can if you
Mhm.
just, like, don't care at all."
Mhm.
And then it turned into me doing Tom Platz leg day every day for, like, a couple months. Not every day, but every leg day.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, the realizing through just kinda that same apathy I was telling you about in the like, during the run. It's like, if you truly just go into the gym or go into a physical event, you're like, "Ah, man, I don't care what happens to me." You can do the craziest stuff that you never possibly thought you could do, because before you totally cared
Yeah.
about, like, if it sucked.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
what's interesting is people think too, like when they hear you say that, they're gonna be like, we're not saying that's good for you physically. We're saying
No,
we're
no, not at
saying
all.
like it's mental, like, and it's up
Yeah,
here. So
yeah.
nobody's saying like, hey, this is the best way to train or go do an ultra marathon when you haven't ran in 30 days. It's just what we're
No, you're
saying is
gonna hurt
like,
yourself.
yeah, you'll
Yeah.
learn something up here, and if you are
Mhm.
willing to risk the physical negatives, like there's some value there.
Yeah, and I mean, even too, like, it's not saying that if you run an untrained ultra today, you're going to injure yourself. You could. You could also not, and then find out that you're an ultra marathoner. Like,
Yeah.
that's another thing is, like, there's so much about people that they just don't know about themselves, like, mentally and physically, and it's like, I just that kinda grinds my gears about myself, like, not knowing if I could do something, there's not a lot of me that's just okay with that. Like, the vast majority of myself is like, "No, no, 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 I have to know." Sorry.
What's interesting for me is like you say you're gonna do the bodybuilding.
Mhm.
That's in your wheelhouse from what I can tell. You're a big boy,
Yeah.
you're training, like that's a wheelhouse for you. It's gonna be great, and I'm excited to see the cut and see the physique because I think
Thank
it's
you.
gonna be top tier. I would have a hard time to go back to what we were talking before, not getting sucked in with like the all in mentality, win or nothing
Mhm.
mentality. I have a really hard time with that when I do things that I'm innately good at. Um, and that's why for me, so I had a background of Olympic weightlifting and competitive CrossFit. I was doing that, like I was really good at that. Like I'm
Yeah.
anaerobic, I'm a sprinter,
That's sick.
I'm strong, like that's my wheelhouse. And after I
Yeah.
was competing in that, I just burnt out. I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore."
Mhm.
Stepped out. I didn't go to the gym for like 18 months, 2 years, didn't do anything.
Ooh.
And so I've been doing it like my whole life. And so when I got back into it, I knew I couldn't do something that I was good at because I would just get completely sucked back into it. So I chose to
Yeah.
do Ironman and Ultra because I'm so bad at that. And there's no chance of me being a professional Ironman. So it
Yeah.
helps me avoid getting sucked into the all or nothing mentality.
Yeah.
How, so
That's
yeah. What the reason I bring that up is like, I'm interested to see I'm interested to follow along to see like if you're still doing like in and out or able to hang out with your buddies or do what you're doing
yeah.
with the bodybuilding prep. Not to say that it's okay not to go all in, but just to make sure you're still having good vibes
Yeah.
and enjoying it throughout.
Well, with prep is gonna be a lot different because right now I'm just
Mm,
bulking, so it's
yeah,
like, if I go over my calories
that's a plus.
yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
as long as I'm not just eating a bunch of junk food, being an idiot, getting fat. But prep is way different. Prep is like, no, now it is every calorie, every gram, every ounce. Like that's when the games are over, and that's the real like. the time to lock in. And at that point, I think it might be all in, like no sacrifices, nothing. Like if you want to hang out in between my meals, man,
Yeah.
like yeah.
Do you have a show
But I
picked
mean,
out? Do you know when you're gonna do it?
so I'm gonna compete around this time next year because I want to compete at the Amateur Arnold Classic.
Oh,
Just 'cause
yes.
that would be so sick. Because
Yeah.
the Amateur Arnold is just another national show. So it's like if you get top 2 in a local show, you qualify to go to a national show, and that's just one of them.
hmm
So, yeah, I
That's
thought that was, like, the most random thing that, like, such a massive show.
how
So,
do you
I'm gonna try to compete about 4 weeks before that to qualify, and then kinda continue the cut from there into the
okay.
Arnold.
So you need to qualify for the Arnold? Okay. And that's like you were saying, that's any local comp that's top two that's
Yep.
recognized?
You gotta get
Okay.
top 2 overall at a local show.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
sweet, dude. The Arnold
Dude.
is like the pinnacle, dude.
Yeah, right? So that would just be so sick, like, nobody's gonna be there to watch the amateur show, but still just, like, to be there and have shared the stage with the guys who would be there for the pro show, like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So what's your training looking like now? Are you doing like a push-pull legs? How are you training right now?
So it's kind of like a push-pull legs, except I've split up my leg days into, like, quads and hamstrings day, just because, like, the push-pull legs, it just kinda seem like 2 upper bodies to 1 lower body, and, like, if you're trying to hit full legs, like, that's honestly so many major muscle groups to try to conserve your energy for, or, like, if you really crush your quads, your hamstrings aren't really getting that good of a workout, and vice versa, so I split them up.
So walk me through your week. What's it look like for training?
Yeah, so the days aren't with a day of the week, so, like, it'll kinda cycle randomly, but say Monday's a push day, just a normal push day, like, nothing really crazy there. I'm probably going to max out on bench or, dumbbell shoulder press, depending on, like, if I'm trying to prioritize shoulders or chest. And then it'll be, quads day, like a quads and glutes kinda day, and that'll be max out on squat. And then but so I do these maxes, and then as if I didn't do them, go into a hypertrophy workout. So, like, I'll max squat, and then I'll go to, like, hack squat, leg press, leg extension, some type of glutes, like, a couple times, and then I throw in a little bit of calves at the end, but hamstrings is really where I, like, prioritize calves, but I
Yeah.
can't hit legs and not calves.
Listen, dude, some people are gifted with the calves genetics. Is that you or
I
not?
know. It's not.
It's
It's
not me
not.
either, dude. It's
It's
not me
not.
either.
Yeah. And then
It,
after that will be a pull day, just normal pull, like nothing. And then it's either pull day, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll do deadlift then, or if I don't do it on like back pull day, I'll do it on hamstring day. Yeah. And then that just kind of repeats.
are you doing any running still or just
I
straight
was
lifting?
doing a little bit of running just to kind of keep up with the cardiovascular health, but dude, the motivation to run when there's literally no goal for it is crazy. Like running when you have a race is, yeah, it's still hard, but it's like, I'm not even running to try to be good at running. I'm
Yeah.
just running to do it. So I was like, yeah, no. So I go on walks every day to get in my step count and everything like that, and just try to keep my legs used to like the pounding of miles. But other than that, I've been doing jujitsu as my cardio.
But how long have you been doing that?
So I've been doing it on and off for since I got out of the Marine Corps. Well, even when I was in, I've been doing it on and off for probably the last like couple of years. But I still suck. Like that's not supposed to be a flex by any means. Anybody watching. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you could be doing jujitsu for like 10 years and still suck compared to the people who are like the pros. Like the ceiling is so high, but it takes
Oh
so
my,
much time to
these
get
dudes
there.
beat my ass, bro. I walk into the gym 230 pounds on steroids, and then I just get beat up by like some dude who's like 180.
That's the
I'm
coolest
like,
thing
all right,
about
this is
jujitsu
crazy.
though, is it like it's a
Yeah, not for
such a
me. Maybe for the other people, but
what's the gear cycle that you're planning on doing for bodybuilding, if any, or what's going on there?
so right now I've just been running 200 tests to kind of do the most with the least
Mm-hmm.
and see what goes on. And then I just started like officially working with a coach about a couple weeks ago and got the diet plan, got the protocol. I don't know not obviously the legalities, but I guess the etiquette of
Yeah,
saying the gear protocol he gave me
that's
when
cool.
I paid him for it, but yeah.
Interesting. How do you feel? Some people aren't transparent about it. They're like, "Nah, dude, I'm totally natural." Some people are transparent,
Yeah.
which I think it's obvious for most people who know what's going on, or for people who are on it. How
I appreciate that.
do you have any concerns health wise? Are you like what's going on? What were the thoughts process behind choosing to get on it?
Yeah, so obviously, like, there are health concerns. It's hard to, like, hear things like that and not think about them sometimes, but I'm getting my blood test done once a month. We're doing things to make sure, like, we're watching all the numbers, making sure that if something needs tweaked, it gets tweaked, and it's not like I'm just blasting gear to get massive. So I'm not rationally worried, but it is like you can't do something where everybody goes, "Oh, like something bad could happen," and then think nothing bad can happen. So
Yeah. Are you concerned? How old are you? 20,
24.
24. I've
Yeah.
listened to Mike Israetel talk about it. I love that he's so open about what he's on
Yeah.
and how that works. I'll be very interested to see kind of once you get on to it for a certain amount of time how you feel about it and how it makes you feel. Because I
Yeah.
imagine it's going to make you feel like just superhuman.
Makes you feel pretty awesome. Yeah.
Uh, it'll be interesting to see how that works. When are you planning on starting the cycle? Like, is it a full year out, a couple months out?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got the protocol, like, just a couple days ago, actually, so now I'm just kinda trying to find a source and figure out how to acquire everything.
Dude, I don't even begin to know how to navigate that world. Like, you gotta,
Exactly. Yeah, so it is a pretty underground and gray area, and nobody's too openly like, "Oh, yeah, come get some."
yeah.
So,
Well, I
yeah.
imagine because the Austin fitness scene has kind of become like the mecca for it. How's that been out there?
Yeah.
Have you met like some cool people? Has it been easy to incorporate yourself
Yeah.
into that, meet some stuff?
I've met some cool people, but, like, with just the getting out stuff, like I was kinda talking about before, like, it is kinda difficult to meet people and value relationships, like, the same way, so that's been tough, but for anybody else trying to move to Austin, I think definitely you could easily meet a bunch of cool fit people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, every morning you could go to a run club and meet 100 new people. Yeah.
What's the goal with the YouTube channel on there? Because dude, your content, I love your content, dude.
Thank you.
The way you talk about going to the gym is like it make like I haven't felt that in a while. Like that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
But that like I'm just like, dude, I want to go hit chest after why go watch
There
your
you
video,
go.
dude.
There you go.
You have such good vibes when it comes to the gym content. So what's your goal with the YouTube in the long term?
I guess, really the goal is just, like, to hear stuff like that from people, like, I'm gonna go to the gym regardless, but if I can find a way to make other people, like, feel like they're happy about going to the gym or, like, get the feeling back that they haven't had in a while, because that same feeling, I lost that for years. Like, in high school, my parents were, like, afraid that I was manic. Like, I knew I was joining the Marine Corps in probably towards the end of my junior year, so my senior year, I signed up for 2 gym classes. I had a strength
Good.
conditioning team sports after school lifted until dive practice, went to dive practice, came home, ate dinner, went back to the gym, and it was all I did ever. And it was like I remember, like, even before I became, like, a praying man, I was a hoping man, and I would, like, hope to get that feeling back,
Yeah.
and then just it was like I said, when I had, like, that epiphany moment a couple months ago where I was just in the gym and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "This is it, dude. This is, like, where I have fun. This is where I feel like I have a purpose. This is where I feel like nobody can really fuck with me. Like this is my it's just I made a video yesterday about making your area your element. And that's what I felt like happened to me again with the gym. And that's what I'm trying to like share that feeling with people because it's sick.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're doing a great job. I really
Thank you.
love what you're putting out. It's pretty cool. The saying "strike when the iron's hot," strike while the iron's hot. Like
Yep.
some people will come in and they'll be like, "Hey, whoa, slow down." No, dude. If the iron's hot, if you're feeling good that day, if the weights are moving,
Try.
if you're,
Yep.
you gotta capitalize on it.
Yeah. Even if the iron's lukewarm, I strike, dude. I'm trying to hit a max regardless.
What are some things you're doing outside the gym? Are you prioritizing sleep? Are you prioritizing anything outside of that? What's going on?
So I'm trying to, and I say trying very lightly, trying to get more into cooking to like, not just eat slop, like boy slop that technically has the right macros. Trying to do that, trying to get, um, honestly, the best way I can put it is just trying to figure out how to be a person, which sounds super weird, but it's like, I went from high schooler to like service member, and nowhere in between there is like normal person. So it's like knowing like just how to structure a day on my own or do things that just like there's just so many unknown unknowns of being an adult and like individual thinking human being that once you just get kind of thrown into it, it is like there is a figuring out process to that I didn't expect at all. That and I think that's honestly just what I've been trying to do.
I've never thought about that. What was so like the 5 year, just so people have context and myself included,
Yeah.
the 5 years, like, were you on, like, what's the structure there?
Yeah, so for me specifically and a lot of other guys my age was super crazy because I joined during COVID. So usually after boot camp, it's supposed to be 12 weeks. You go home for 10 days. Well, I had to do 2 extra weeks on the front end in a hotel where, like, they took all our stuff and then just locked me in a hotel room with a TV that played, like, PT every day and then, like, Friends reruns, and I just sat there in, like, a green shirt and green shorts for 14 days. So that sucked. But then after that, we didn't get to take leave. So because of COVID and, like, all the restrictions and stuff, so I didn't leave a military base for a year and a half. And then because we weren't allowed to leave base, the people in front, like, ahead of us or in charge of us, deemed that there was no reason for us to own civilian clothes either. So I didn't even get out of a military uniform for a year and a half after I joined the Marine Corps. Like, let alone do things for myself. Like, I remember at one point, me and my buddy were walking off base at night to go get snacks from a gas station like I would in high school. And I, like, couldn't believe it. I was like, "Dude, we just be back in the morning? Like, what? Like, I get to do whatever I want?" Like, I could not believe that me and my friend were just, like, walking to the gas station on our own in normal clothes. And
Do you
then
think
the
I was
next,
gonna
like, probably 4 years after that, sorry, it was just, like, gradually having more and more experiences like that.
mhm.
Like, I remember the first time I hit the fleet, got out of the schoolhouse, I couldn't fathom, again, like, a situation like that, like, work was over and I didn't nobody, like, could tell me what to do. Well, they could, but nobody was telling me what to do until work the next day. And, like, if you wanted to take leave, it was this whole long request process, and it had to be like, "I, Sergeant Sonnek, respectfully request to take leave from this day through this day," and it had to end with, like, I hereby swear to abide by all civilian laws as well as articles of the UCMJ and uphold the standards of the Marine Corps and bring good credit upon myself, the United States Naval Service. Like, dude, it was crazy. And then even if you were on leave, say I flew from Florida, not Florida, I don't know why I said Florida, California back to Minnesota where my family's at, they could just be like, yeah, Sonic, come back now. And I just have to be like, damn,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Dang.
damn.
Do do you feel like that first year and a half where you couldn't leave impacted the longevity of your experience, like, in the Marines? Do you feel like if you had, like, the normal experience, you would have been more willing to stay in longer?
Um, no. Like, ultimately, no, but also, it's just kinda one of those things, like, I didn't know any different anyways.
Mm, yeah.
Like, that's just what the military was to me. Like, I'd never had another experience where I got to go home or got to, like, leave base or do all these other things. Drink. We couldn't drink. Dude, that's I was dry for a year and a half.
In Austin, you're coaching people, aren't you?
So, it has
Or
actually gotten to
online?
the point where yeah, I own the company at this point. Like, we've hired coaches, hired nutritionists, and just kind of creative director and making sure everybody is doing what needs to be done, and the obviously the marketing side of it, like with the social media
Mm.
and everything like that.
When did you start that?
That started, I think, June of 24, June of 23 or June of 24.
the company as a
Yeah.
whole, or when you
Yeah.
started hiring? That's crazy. That how was the growth? How was the reception of it? And how did you get on to the nutritionists and the trainers?
Yeah, it was actually the craziest deal. My one of my best friends from high school, he went to college for business marketing. And then obviously I was just kind of doing my Marine Corps thing, like posting fitness stuff, whatever. And then we were just kind of like FaceTime one day catching up. And he's like, dude, I started doing this thing, like growth operation. And I've just been looking for an influencer, like so we can get together and like work on coaching or something like that. And I was like, are you, are you forgetting? Like, I'm right here, man. And it was such a funny, like, he was like, "Oh, yeah." Like, he genuinely wasn't messing with me at all. And then from there, like, we just kinda started building the forge, what we call it. Like you're saying, strike the iron when it's hot.
Hmm.
But yeah, he loves all, like, the back end systems work and stuff like that, and I love trying to help people get fit and, uh, just get people into that world. So we kind of band together, and he did all the back end systems work, and I did all the hyping people up to get jacked, and then eventually it was just like there was too many people for check-ins, and I was starting to become like just spread too thin as a coach. So we hired another, and I was like, wait, that's awesome. Hired a couple more, and then I just kind of became hands off.
That's awesome, dude. How's that been? Like, what was the experience like for you from that? That's a pretty significant trajectory and growth. Like, how do you feel about being able to manage that? And do you still feel like you're able to give people a good experience? What's been the priority stepping away from the hands on?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just it feels surreal and like it's not real at all. So it's very much so. I feel like I'm still in the just kind of the point where I'm trying to make it seem like it's a real thing that's happening to me. Like it's like there's so much of my mental capacity. I feel like is towards that because it's just the contrast of the two lifestyles. Like I can't. I'm still just trying to wrap my head around the fact that it's real. But other than that, just I a lot of like delegation of tasks and like trusting but verifying the people who work under me. So instead of trying to be like, oh, I know how to do this, we're gonna do it this way because it's my company and I want it to be blah blah blah. I'm not gonna hire somebody if I don't trust them to do the job right anyways. And like my friends who I work on it with, like I know for a fact that they're intelligent and they're good at their job and they're specifically better than me at what they're doing. So unless something like goes wrong and then we have a talk about it, like a little meeting, like, hey, we need to steer away from this or do this differently or not do this again. Uh, we have meetings probably 3 times a week, and then in between those 3 times a week, I just trust that they're doing the job right.
Why, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, "Hey, you own a company, you've got great coaches. Why
Mhm.
does Tyson need a coach for bodybuilding?" What would you say to that?
It's just because nobody is above being coached. Like if you look at all the greats of anything ever, they all had mentors, coaches. Like Kobe didn't just stop listening to his coach. Sebum had a coach. Michael Jordan didn't just stop getting coached. So it's like, aside from just the fact of an outside view can always help, like whether they know what they're doing or not. Like it's so easy to get sucked in and like miss the bigger. We call it getting sucked into your binos. Like in my job in the Marine Corps, because like you look out at the battlefield through your binoculars and you lose all peripheral vision. So it's good to have somebody come in, regardless of their knowledge, and just not have the blockers of the peripheral vision there.
Yeah, I completely agree. It doesn't matter. It's not about whether you know what to do or not. It's about having that third party overview so they can actually see. Because like you're saying, it's hard to see when you're that close to the picture.
Yeah.
So having somebody able to tell you, hey, you're doing this wrong or you're doing this right, and just also having that accountability. It's a lot harder
Yes.
to not eat, or it's a lot harder to eat a cheat meal when you're gonna have to tell the coach the next day, like, hey man, by the way,
Exactly.
I had a pack of Oreos.
Yeah, and it's like your coach doesn't have body dysmorphia for you. Like, if it was just up to me, I'd probably walk on stage with massive legs and, like, no upper body because 'cause I'm, like, so worried about my legs. And it's like, I'm just gonna forget about everything else. So it's good to have somebody be like kinda be able to, like, hold the reins on you a little bit. Be like, "Alright, like, yes, you can be worried about this. Also, don't forget."
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah.
Mhm. What are you hitting at the gym today? What's on the docket?
Today's hamstrings, and I'm actually pumped. I'm actually pumped. I'm probably gonna deadlift today.
You're probably gonna deadlift. What? Just are you more conventional? Do you like sumo? Do you mix it up?
All conventional only.
Yeah.
Conventional only, and absolutely no gear,
No,
no
yeah, dude.
equipment.
Do you
I
hook
haven't
grip,
worn a
double
belt.
overhand hook grip, or do you reverse grip?
I'm not that cool now. I
No.
reverse. No, I've tried. I can hook until about 4 plates. I think 5 plates. Last time I tried to hook, I didn't get it. I'll try it today, and we'll see what goes down. But uh,
I
yeah, no,
only
I
hook
just
grip. I've lost
yeah,
all feeling in my
really,
thumbs from years of just like Olympic lifting, clean and
no
jerk
way.
snatch. So like I can only hook grip. And I'll get in my head, I'll be like, if I'm reverse gripping, one lat's working more than the other, one delt's working more, and I'll just
Oh
like get in
yeah.
my head about it.
And you've seen the videos where people tear their biceps doing the double.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm
dude.
always like flexing my tricep to make
Yeah, yeah.
sure I'm not trying to curl it at all.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
I can't watch gym injury videos. Like if somebody sends them to
No,
me,
I
I'm
can't.
just like I won't
I
watch
don't
it.
know what it is, dude. I'm not like a queasy guy about stuff, but
Yeah.
watching somebody like tear a pec or a quad or a tendon snap, I hate those.
Yeah, no. I can't watch that.
And
Like
it's
I
totally
could
gonna be me one day though. I do know that for sure.
what do you
I'm gonna
what
tear a pec clean off the bone one day.
from what? Bench? What's gonna
Something.
get you?
Yeah, probably. I go RPE 10 all the time, and that is one day gonna catch up to me. Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens, man. At
Everybody
least
tries to warn me like, "Oh, you know." Yes, I do.
I just don't care. I
Yeah, I
just don't
don't
care.
care. That's not a
Yeah.
problem for me now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. If you're
I'll
trying to
care
get as
then.
big as you can get or as fit as you can get, you just gotta not care. It's not about longevity. It's about the legend, about building the legend that you
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
100%.
On that, I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I guess it ties in and it's a good scenario, and it maybe brings on the vibe a little bit. This tattoo I got, I've not talked to a lot of people about it, but it stands for "Dear Mom, I Died." Because, like we were saying about the not caring, and there was so much and I got it because there was a time in the Marine Corps where the training, I was so internal, like, out of my mind that I was convinced, I was like, "I'm gonna die." I was like, "I'm not doing this anymore, I'm gonna die." So then if you can get to the point where you're okay with that, nothing can stop you literally ever. So it's like, if I can be okay with tearing my pec off, I'm gonna get really strong before I tear my pec off. If you're convinced that this ultra marathon might kill me, but that's alright, you're probably gonna run an ultra marathon. Like, you're not. And there's a swim course I did later, which was like, "Hey, if I can get right with drowning here, probably gonna pass." So it was like convincing yourself that no matter what happens, it's alright.
Hmm.
You're probably gonna make it, man.
There's a swing to that though, too, obviously. Like if you tear your pec, overall you are going to decrease in strength and muscle mass because you're not going to be able to
Yeah,
train for a while. Your longevity is
yeah,
not going to increase. So I think it's important to recognize that the way you're talking or the all or nothing mentality is great if you're aware that ultimately it's going to lead to something not so great. Like you may tear that pec. You'll
yeah,
be bigger and
yeah.
stronger than you ever could have been, but you might not be able to lift as long as you could have lifted or things like that.
That's true, but, uh, I mean, there's 2 sides to that. Because one is, like, you can mix the go all in and be alright with anything with just actually being, like, intelligent about the way
Smart.
you do things,
Yeah,
and then
smart.
probably not, like, tear your pec off, you know?
Yeah.
But another part of me is like, when I'm laying on my deathbed, there's in this scenario specifically, there's 2 hypothetical versions of myself. One was, like, ridiculously strong and, like, made a really cool thing of himself, like, with social media, and just was able to say, like, "Hey, I accomplished this thing that people usually don't think that they can accomplish, and people probably didn't think I could accomplish, and I tore my pec." Or I could just, like, die as normal. And that is, like, I hate the thought. I
Uh,
hate it, like,
uh,
bad.
Reminds me of Brad Pitt and Troy. He's like, that's why nobody will remember your name.
Yeah, I mean, there is, like, an aspect to that, I feel like, and, like, just dudes with, like, competitive edges, like, all have that, like, "I wanna be remembered" a little bit, and it's like, I'm not gonna be some generational name, most likely, But as long as I can make something of myself that when I'm done, when everything's all said and done for me, I can look back and be like, that was sick.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's good.
I mean
I'll remember me. So
being able to think though, like, I'm not gonna be a generational name. Like, nobody's gonna like, my grandkids are gonna forget
yeah.
about me after like, people think, like, even people in your family are gonna forget about you relatively quickly. Frees you up so much to be like,
Hmm.
"Dude, just let me do what I want, man. Like, let me go for
Yeah.
something great. Let me do what I can do, and,
Yeah.
who cares?"
Yeah. Like, and it's not even about fitness stuff. Like right now, there's probably some kid in his home office just grinding open claw or like the quad and then like
Yeah.
sacrificing time out with friends or whatever to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but when that kid's on his deathbed, he's probably gonna be a billionaire with like 30 hours less player versus player time. Like, but whatever. Like, so whatever it is, like I feel like I might go off the deep end a little bit with the like go all in.
Oh, yeah. There's,
Like my
there's
little brother right now, he's 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 a Zamboni driver and he loves it. He like thinks it's the coolest thing, but he also does realize it's not a lifetime thing. Like he's 19 right now. It's not forever. And I keep telling him like, dude, quit your job. I'm like, cause he wants to do videography and photography. He wants to do it for like influencers. He wants to do it for nature and stuff. I'm like, dude, you live at home. Go all in. This is the last time where you can go truly, completely and totally all in for the rest of your life. Please do it. My parents don't agree. But so yeah, I feel like it could just be me and the go all in thing, but I love that shit, dude.
there's a podcast called, Founders. I don't know if you listen to it. It's phenomenal. It's this guy, he, like, reads biographies of the ultra successful, like, Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
like, Elon, like,
Okay.
and he, like, breaks down their mentality and how, like, Michael Jordan, Kobe, like, he does athletes and CEOs or whatever,
Hmm.
and, like, the unifying theme is, like, that. It's, like, all in. It's,
Yeah.
like, I don't care. I don't care how long this takes me. I don't care how this
Agree.
affects me physically. I don't care about this. I have to do this. And it's just that all in mentality breeds success.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Marty Supreme yet?
I haven't. I want to. Is it great?
You have to, dude. Because like obviously, if you've seen any of the trailers, it's about a dude playing ping pong, but it's not a movie about ping pong at all. It's just about his like otherworldly mentality and how he was like at one point he's getting like grilled. Somebody's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do for money?" You're like, "Blah blah 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 blah." He's like, "I just have supreme confidence in myself, and like the money will follow." And that's kind of like what I'm doing or how I feel. Like I just wish I could preach that to more people. Is like, yeah, you need money. Obviously, we
Mm-hmm.
live in the world. You need money, but like it will come. Like what you need provided to you will be provided to you if you just do the thing that you feel like is in alignment with yourself and doing what you feel like you should be doing or like what's the best use of your time. Like for my little brother example, like great Zamboni driver. If I was to ask him if he feels like that is in alignment with his deeper inner calling or purpose, I don't think he would agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you just take that scary leap into what you feel like really is in alignment with you and trust that if you work hard at it, the money will follow, it kind of does. Yeah.
When you create something like a YouTube video and it goes live, how do you feel? Do you feel like a sense of like you created something of value and gave it to the world? Because that's how I feel when I create like a podcast with a guest. Like
Mm.
I do little of the talking. People don't come to listen to me; they come to listen to you and the guests, and that's great. That's cool. I'm
Yeah.
fine being the vessel in which people can express their ideas and talk to cool people. Because when it posts, like I feel like a better human. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
care if one person listens to this, if they get value out of this, like I feel like a better human.
Yeah. That's sick. I mean, I feel like I don't get that until somebody comes up to me and they're like, dude, I saw this video and it made me feel this way.
Mm,
Whereas for me, it's just like genuinely, I'm just having fun. Like I like to do it and I do it. And I'd say if I do start to think about it down more of like any type of a sentimental kind of avenue like that, I see them more as like a video journal to my future kids. Like, they'll be able to look back and be like, "Yo, that was dad," like, when he was my age or shit like that, and especially with being in my earlier 20s, coming to find out how difficult your early 20s are, and they totally suck. I think it's a really cool thing that, like, when my son someday is going through the same thing I'm going through right now, and he thinks he's going through it alone, he can watch my YouTube videos and be like, "What?" He'd be like, "Dad felt that way too? That's crazy. This is what dad did to get better? Like, maybe I'll be able to do that." Instead of just like, if you, like, tell your son something, if your dad tells you something, it's like, "Yeah, whatever." But maybe if you, like, see him do it and then can, like, see that it worked, then maybe it'll work for him too or her too in the future or whatever, but
Do you think of yourself as introspective? Do you think you're an introspective person?
that's, like, all I do.
Yeah.
It's, like, all I do, yeah.
Yeah, I do that as well. It's blessing and a curse. Like, you have the awareness of your flaws and your inabilities and things that you
Yeah,
have
dude.
work on, but
It'd be nice
then
to be
it's
less
like
aware sometimes.
exactly, but that's all you're aware of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dude, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I feel like I've gotten a lot from this. It's been really cool to kind kind of see your mentality. Is like, yeah, I want to do great things, but man, I got to enjoy life too. Like, there's a return
Yeah.
on just being able
Yeah.
to relax and enjoy this life and spend time with friends. And that's I'm in the same boat. I want to create. I want to provide value, but I just want to have fun too, and I just want to appreciate what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I always end the podcast with two questions for the guest.
Mhm.
The first being, who do you think I should speak to next and why? And then the second is, what's a great book that you recommend?
Somebody I think you should speak to would be, Michael Smoke from the Higher Up podcast. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the things we covered, I, like, thought back to things I'd spoken about him with, or
Yeah.
just things I think he'd be able to touch on, um, very eloquently or a little bit more well-spoken than maybe I did. And
It, it's hard to compete with Michael when it comes to eloquence and yeah, dude, he's good at what he does.
yeah. Do you know him at all?
I haven't met him personally, no. I
Okay.
do you know have you been to Eric Hinman's house? He's had a ton of
I've
people
not been to
over.
his house yet, but I know
Yeah.
Mike was going over there,
Yeah.
quite a bit.
He just moved to well, part-time. He lives up in up
Yeah.
in Colorado, which is where I am. And I've been to his
That's sick.
property out here. Um and so I met a lot of cool people through him, which is really cool, but I have not had the opportunity to meet Michael yet.
That's sick. But no, Michael is, like, exactly the same in real life too. Like, he actually just is better at speaking.
Than everyone else.
Yeah, he is. It's, like, crazy. But it's so cool. It's like, I feel like I'm listening to your thoughts in HD. Like,
That's right.
yeah. But,
Aspirations.
books I'm looking at the books. In terms of the public speaking, I got a book, Don't Say That one's pretty
Mm.
good. But I'd say the best book I think I've ever read in terms of impact on my life would probably be Atomic Habits, which I feel like is kind of a basic answer.
There's a reason it's the GOAT. Like, there's a reason it's the best. Well, what's so good about Atomic Habits is, like, when you read, like, these personal development books, they're so abstract. It's like, yeah, this is like they're talking about how your life would be better or how you do this or whatnot. With Atomic Habits, when you read it, it's like, do this. This is how it'll be better. This is how you implement it. Start doing it right now. And it is so easy to just I reread that like once a year. I'm like, I need a refresher, and I get something out of it each and every time. I think Naval Ravikant said it, but it's like, read what you love until you love to read. So whenever it's like, hey, how do I get into reading? I'm like, don't read like a macroeconomics textbook. Like, read, like, if you like sci-fi or fantasy or whatever you want to do, just read that, and eventually you'll start to read these other things just because you started to learn to like to read. Awesome, dude. Well, this was an absolute pleasure, dude. Hit the gym hard. We'll run this back sometime.